A very good morning, everyone. Today, I, Sween, and Mashood, on behalf of Gurushala, welcomes you all to this 2 days training on strategies for virtual teaching. Today, the teachers from Siddipet, Telangana are joining us. Here, I would like to add that Gurushala is an initiative of Vodafone India Foundation and Indus Towers and is implemented by Pratham Education Foundation. So, as we all know, that during this lockdown situation, we have faced a lot of unprecedented situations. We have seen a lot of ups and downs, and we have experienced a lot of uncertainties in terms of our personal as well as our professional domains. So, specifically, if we talk about the education sector, then there have been a lot of uncertainties in the education sector as well. We entirely shifted from classroom teaching environment to remote teaching. But the best part is that our teachers have been making consistent efforts. They have been teaching our students with innovative ideas so that the students do not lag behind. So today, in these 2 days training session, we will be sharing few more strategies with you all so that we can make our virtual teaching experience even more effective. So now, before taking the session ahead, I would like to welcome our one of the very special guests for the day.
Yes. So we would like
Yes.
to we very soon, Sween, we'll have the district education officer of the Siddipet district, Dr. Ravikant Rao, who is also a distinguished academic. He is also a faculty at the SIET and has a very distinguished career as being a pioneer in opening some of the first model schools in Telangana, and has a wonderful academic perspective as well. Uh, Thank you, Dr. Ravikant Rao, sir, for joining us today. Very good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning.
Yes, sir. So we were joined by teachers from across the Siddipet district and many other teachers from across India as well who are watching us live on the YouTube training session. Uh, Kindly, please do share your message which you have for all our teachers who are watching us in this session.
Okay, thank you for making me a part of this Gurushala program. So, dear friends, this is the time, the COVID time, we are all now contained to our own houses, our own residence. But we cannot stop our professional development. So, I thought, I think 3 weeks back, I think so, Ms. Tanvi approached me over phone. Sir, we would like to take up the online training course for all the teachers in your district. So there I have nodded for her proposal, and also we gave okay, we'll go ahead. So initially we had a couple of times discussions, and after long deliberations, we have agreed to go over with this program. So dear friends, this is a part of our professional development. So I would like to clarify some of the concepts. What is a profession? What is a job? For example, job. A clerk, he will be doing a job. A bus conductor, he'll be doing a job. The difference is here. The point is, in a job, there will be routine thing will be there. Even a servant maid, she is doing a job. Means simply they will be doing the same thing repeatedly. Need not to update or upscale everything according to time to time. Whereas coming to the profession, in a profession, job is a part. Profession is a broader term. Profession requires updating ourselves time to time. Every time we have to update ourselves, upscale ourselves. So this our teaching is a profession. It's not a job. Always I quote the teachers as two types. Teachers, most of them, they come by choice, and some of them they come by chance. I think could you find the difference? By choice means they take up the teaching profession, and as well as they want to become a teacher from the beginning. They make up mind. They made it. They might have made it as a goal, and they become a teacher. So they will be having immense interest in their teaching profession. Some of the people they come by chance. So they might have been they might not have got their desired job, like they want to become a group one officer, IAS officer, and they want to become an engineer or doctor. So now, all those things they could not become. So they have taken, the parents might have told, "Chalo beta, tum teacher ban jao, kuch to bhi kama sakte." Like that, they might have become the teacher. So here we require the people with by choice. Okay, you might have come with by chance when there is no other goal, but you come. You love your profession. You love your job. Whatever the work you're doing. So what I used to say to my teachers every time, or any person who is doing a work, first he should love his work unconditionally. This I quote another, introduce another phrase: unconditional acceptance. Yeah, by chance or by chance you enter teaching profession. Whatever you have learned in the books, whatever you learned in the books may not be the same when you go to the school. Books will be ideal. They will be telling about the more theories. But when going for the practicum, when going for the ground level, situation will be different. So here, as a teacher, we should develop our profession day to day. This another term I would like to introduce is CPD, continuous professional development. Any person who is in the profession, maybe a teacher, doctor, an engineer, and many of the fields which they require, they have to improve themselves. Okay, I mean, I would like to tell about a simple example of myself. I've introduced, I joined in the job with BSc MEd, but there I did not stop. Immediately I gone for my post graduation, then gone for PhD, like that. So once you enter that, I got the job, that the government job. Chalo bhai, it is very comfortable. Not like that. We have to update. And when the person like me who joined in 30 years back, we used to stick on to only chalk and talk method. Hardly we used to display some charts, but slowly changed. In the coming to the technology, overhead projectors were the first ICT or the technology introduced. Then computers, PowerPoint. Now many things are there. So here we should not say that I have only couple of years service. Of course, I too have only 3 years service, but I don't want to be retained like the old person. I want to be, I want to update myself. So this is I called as a continuous professional development. Just I recall my computer skills in the 2007. There I was very scared to switch on the computer as if oh shock lagega. It as if I get a shock of. But slowly learn. No, I'm doing work on my own. I did not go for any regular computer course and thing. Chalo, trial and error out of interest, anything. So this I would like to say, you may have left the service of 5 years, 2 years, or 1 year. Any new thing you have to update yourself. Any new thing you have to update yourself. Now the present situation is demanding. The situation is like that during the COVID time. There is no the regular classroom teaching practice. Okay, we have to depend upon all these online modes. Whatever the available, we have to improve. And what I say is, our mobile phone itself is a very big gadget. We can manipulate or we can use it for many things. We can use it for many things. Now, especially in our district, during the COVID time, actually our SS exams were at that time planned to be conducted, but later government deferred with it, and they have allowed all the students to go through the SS exam. But during during that COVID time, from April last week to June first week, we have used different modes of online, maybe Zoom or WhatsApp or calling by phone. Many means we try to reach the students. So now what way we can reach the students. Yesterday I was called upon by our higher authorities. Yesterday I was called upon by our higher authorities, like please submit a note on how we have to go about for the this online education. So online for our purpose it will be good, but whereas for students it may be a little difficult. They may get addiction. So on the whole, I would like to say, as a concluding words, you are born as a teacher. You should develop day by day, every day. If you are not updating yourself, you will be outdated and you will be outfit from the people. That I would like to say. Whether you are a language teacher, non-language teacher, science teacher, math teacher, whoever teacher, within your field, you update yourself. And finally, I would like to say, you try to reach the maximum point of the profession, whatever it may be. That doesn't mean that they're getting big job or getting promotion. Within that, your content, your knowledge, your professional skills, your pedagogy have to improve day to day. So this I would like to say, and thank you for giving me the opportunity for the Gurushala team, and with a special reference to Miss Tanvi. She has been behind me for the couple of days, as if I should not miss. This is a good opportunity. Hope next time I would like to have a detailed session for 1 hour or so, half an hour, 1 hour, about the classroom management and classroom communication. For the teacher, as out of my experience, I would like to share if I am given opportunity. So thank you for making a part. Thank you, the Gurushala team, Tanvi and her team. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ravikant Rao, sir.
Thank you,
And thank you so much. Thank you so much for your valuable time. And we really look forward to have you in one of our subject expert sessions on classroom management as well. So, Sween, that was DEO, sir, of Siddipet and Medak districts, giving all our teachers who are joining us a very motivational start to this 2-day online training.
Right, Mashood. So before we start with the session today, let us just quickly give our teachers a brief about what all are we going to cover in today's session. So today we will be talking about few of the challenges that our teachers are facing. So as we all know that lockdown situation happened all of a sudden and none of us was prepared for it. So what all challenges are there that our teachers are facing? Apart from that, we will also be looking at that how can we plan our virtual teaching in a more better way. So we'll be having a look at the strategies and the things that we need to keep in mind while we are planning our virtual teaching sessions. We will also talk about the collaborations. So as we know that being teachers, we continuously stay in touch with different community stakeholders. So how do we see these collaborations as an opportunity in this lockdown period? So we will be discussing about that, and we will also be discussing about few of the strategies and framework that we can use to make our students self-directed learners and independent learners in this time. So to start with the session, Mashood can quickly take us through few of the points that we need to keep in mind during the training session.
Right. So some points which all our teachers who are joining us need to keep in their mind during the training session is, first of all, please do keep a notepad and pen with you, and keep noting the points which are being discussed during the session. Also, please do note your questions and comments, and you can share with us your questions and comments in the chat section on the YouTube, and we'll take it up during the session as well. All your answers should be, all your questions and all your answers may kindly be written either in English or in English language, SMS language. The fourth is, at the end of the 2-day training, that is tomorrow, a Google form and an assessment form will be shared with all the teachers. And that form is compulsory to be eligible for the attendance and for the certificate of this training. So we would like to again repeat that at the end of tomorrow, there'll be one assessment form, Google form, which will be shared tomorrow, and that will assess both the training knowledge which has been shared in day one and day two, and that form is compulsory to be filled and submitted by the deadline to be eligible for the certificate. And a final point is, we as today all the teachers of Siddipet district join the Gurushala family. We would request all of you to please like, share, and subscribe Gurushala's YouTube channel and Facebook page as well, to remain updated with many interesting competitions, events, which we will continue to have in the coming days. We'll also be having a session with Dr. Kavita, and also with Dr. Rao sir on different issues. So we would request all of you to please like and subscribe the YouTube page as well. In addition to this, we also will be awarding a certificate of accomplishment. And this certificate of accomplishment will be awarded on the following criteria. So, as we mentioned, that on day two, there is an assessment form which will be shared with all the teachers, and those who score 50% and above in this assessment form will be eligible for the certificate of accomplishment. In the coming session, we'll also talk about different online courses where you can, after you complete these free online courses, you will be getting certificates as well. So that is one different kind of certificate. Here we are talking about the certificate of accomplishment, which you will be eligible for once you pass the cutoff of 50% in the assessment form. Sween, there are also some very interesting activities that we'll be presenting to our audience in the coming days, which, if you would like to share with the audience, which these activities are.
Right, Mashood. So apart from the discussion and the strategies that we are going to share with our teachers, we will also be having certain fun elements for our teachers. So these fun activities are fastest finger first and guess the word. So as the names imply, fastest finger first, through this activity, we'll be able to see that how fast our teachers can respond to the answers that we are asking. And guess the word, it will help us in understanding that how in a good way our teachers are able to guess the words that we are asking or the questions that we are asking to them. So let us start with the first activity of the day. So the first activity is guess the word. Here I will be showing you an image in which there are 6 hidden words, and within 60 seconds we have to find those 6 hidden words and share our answers in the comment section. So here is the image and our time is starting over here.
Right. So, Sween, we can see that the timer has started, and teachers have only 1 minute to find those 6 words which are hidden in this picture. It seems like this seems to be a situation which we are, in fact, facing right now, because children are at home, they are playing, and it seems like it's a big challenge for teachers to also get students to study and learn from home.
That's right, Mashood. So our timer has started and our teachers are thinking about the hidden words, and a few of the comments are also coming here. So Mahi ji is saying that there is a tiger word hidden in the image.
That's right. Sarita Rao ma'am is talking about tiles, and Durga Bhavani ma'am is talking about mirror. So some of our teachers are finding words in this picture as well.
Right. And I can also see Sadivya ji saying that the word is cord. So yeah, many of the teachers are sharing their answers. So here our time is also up. So let us have a look that where are these hidden words and what all hidden words are there. So yeah, so these are the hidden words. So the 6 hidden words are tiles, mirror, couch, straw, cat, and cord. So if you could see, we have also highlighted these words in the given image. So congratulations to all the teachers who have given the correct answers, and we will be having more such activities during the discussion.
Right.
So Mashood, as you can see that this was quite a challenging activity for our teachers to find the hidden words from the pictures. So what do you think are the few challenges that our teachers are facing during this lockdown situation?
That's absolutely right. A lot of different challenges are being faced by teachers. This is again a very unprecedented situation where no one was ready. Where suddenly the whole while the whole world has been closed, it has really impacted the teacher community and the student community especially, because suddenly schools are closed, students are at home, teachers are also not with their students. So it is very difficult to identify how to take the teaching learning process forward. But we've seen teachers, like you mentioned, are making a lot of different efforts. So Gurushala works with many teachers across India, and some of the challenges which were shared, one of our teachers said, how do I assess the students remotely? Because again, taking those class tests, weekly tests, and monthly examinations, checking the copies is physically not possible. So how does assessment happen remotely? The second challenge, which one of our teachers shared, was how do I learn new skills in as a teacher? And what also Dr. Rao was talking about, that there needs to be a continuous professional development in every profession, and teaching profession especially, because every child poses a different challenge. So how do we learn different skills? Many teachers are adopting different technological methods to develop their skills. Many of them are using very innovative methods, doing research. So, how do we continue this process is another challenge faced by some of the teachers. Another teacher from Gurushala mentioned, how can I use technology for teaching effectively remotely? What we see is that technology has penetrated across different societies, and even in the very rural areas, there is availability of some level of internet connection and devices. So, how do we use this as an opportunity to teach students more effectively is another challenge. And finally, one of our teachers has also mentioned, how can I plan my lessons effectively? Lesson planning forms a very integral part of a teacher's day-to-day routine. But now suddenly the whole situation has become virtual learning, virtual teaching. So how do we plan our lessons, and how do we figure out what strategies to use and what resources to use? And many more of our teachers, we work with more than 3,600 schools and more than 18,000 teachers across India. Many more such challenges have been shared uh, by teachers across India. If
Right,
we
Mashur.
look at these challenges, the next 2 days session will be based on how to deal with these challenges. And Sween, if we can start with the first challenge, which is how do we ensure that we plan our lessons effectively while teaching from a distance virtually?
Right, Mashud. So, when we are teaching the students remotely or when we are indulged in virtual teaching, it is very important that we plan our classes accordingly. And in order to plan the classes, in order to plan the virtual teaching sessions, it is important that we know our learners' environment. So, as we know that the students are not in school and we are not facing the similar kind of environment. So, every child might have a different kind of environment at home. So there can be few things that we need to identify about what all resources are available and what kind of environment does the child has at home. So here we are having a list of parameters based on which we can identify that what kind of learning environment the students are having at home, and accordingly we can plan our virtual sessions. So the parameters are like uninterrupted internet, which says about what quality internet is there. Accessing internet from the computer, so are the students able to access the internet using a computer? Supervision of parents, so are the parents able to supervise and monitor the students and their performances? A conducive learning space, so it says that are the students having a separate study area, or what kind of emotional environment is there at home? Because we do like acknowledge this, that during this time there might be some stressors, and the family might also be going through some tough times, as all of us are having different times. So we need to consider that what kind of learning space is there. We also have to see that availability of reference material, so are the students having the textbooks, or we need to provide them with some digital books or pdfs? So we need to look into this. And the last is that how responsiveness is there on WhatsApp, so how frequently the students are responding, or how, or whether they do respond or not, how much time do they take to respond? So these are few of the parameters. And we have also made some categories, as you can see. So it can be less than 50%, between 50 to 75%, and more than 75%. So we can see that how many percent of students are falling in these categories based on the parameters that we have listed. So, Mashood, can we explain our teachers better through an example about how we can consider these parameters and how we can, just access, just have a look at how what kind of environment our students are having?
Yes. So as Sween mentioned, that these are the six parameters based on which we can identify what kind of a learning environment students have at home. And like you also said, Sween, that when we are in a school, the learning environment is similar. It is the same for every student. They have access to the same teacher, to the same technology, to the same resources. But at home, everyone's learning environment is different. So we can see for the foreseeable future that the children will be sitting at home and will also be learning from home. So it is important to identify these parameters, and based on that, where does our class, the majority of the class, stand? It is important. So here, like, we take an example of uninterrupted internet. So one of our teachers in one of our previous trainings shared a checklist with us, and she said that 50 to 75% of children have uninterrupted internet. It could be mobile internet. Sometimes children may have access to faster internet as well, but mobile internet is generally what is available. The second point is about accessing internet from computer. Now, what we also have to understand that if they have an internet connection, then what device do they have access to? Do they have a mobile phone? Do they have a computer? If they don't personally own, because many of our children might not have access to such devices, then do they have such access in their community? Can do their neighbors have it, or can 4 or 5 children from a community get together to have access to such a device? This is something which we as teachers can try and understand. Supervision of parents. The teacher mentioned that less than 50% have supervision of parents. And like you mentioned, Sween, that supervision is also of two types. One is where the parent is just supervising if the classwork and homework is being done. And the second is where the parent has the capacity to help more in helping solve questions, in helping write answers, helping the child just the way the teacher does. So, based on what kind of supervision, this teacher mentioned that almost 75% of more have good supervision. Conducive learning space is important, both the physical space as well as the socio-emotional support which is required for the child. It seemed like this the teacher said that not very less than 50% students actually have that conducive learning space. Reference material, of course, we also asked our teachers whether students have the new textbooks, because they have passed from when the lockdown happened, the students were just passing from one class to the other. So some of our students might not have textbooks, but do they have the PDF version of the textbook? That is also something which we can find out. And many teachers are also using WhatsApp for discussion, for sharing content with children, for giving tasks, giving assessments, giving questions. So what is the responsiveness on WhatsApp? That is also very important. So these are some points, and with this we would like to take one question as well. Of Mr. Mohammed Ashraf has asked, how can we create interest among students, particularly in rural areas? Now, this is a very important question, and this is very relevant for us because many of our students are studying in rural areas, and where we see that technology is there, but it is less as compared to urban areas. So, for example, it's possible that the internet connectivity might not be very strong in rural areas, or, for example, the access to mobile phone or computer devices may also be limited as compared to urban areas. So in these situations, we will also be discussing, for example, how using phone, where even if you don't have internet, how using phone you can communicate to the child, give them certain tasks, give them a schedule. Take You can also take vivas, viva assessments on phone in a in a group call, and we will be discussing more on this issue in the session as we move forward. Sween, if we also see how we can use this information to develop our teaching strategy. So, for example, if we have this information available, it shows that because many students have access to the computer, according to this checklist, teaching material which will be viewed better on the computer should be mostly given based on this information. The second strategy can also be that we can provide parents with definite steps for supervising the students' learning. So here we see that supervision of parents is generally available. So there is more scope, or there is more meaning of involving parents into the teaching process by giving them more steps. The third is focused on the learning material which can be utilized in diverse spaces of learning. So how whatever resources we are giving, for example, if it is a textbook, so if we feel majority of the students have access to the textbook, so then our teaching should be more focused on that. And textbook is always a very important central part of our teaching. If we feel the students also have much access to mobile internet, they have WhatsApp and all, so then we should think of learning material which can be videos, can be worksheets, can be different resources. And the fourth point is we can create clusters of students as per their responsiveness and then track the progress as well. So based if we are using WhatsApp groups to teach students, we can make groups based on how responsive the students are. So with this, if we can also present to our teachers our next activity, which where they have to implement this theory.
Right, Mashud. So, as we have spoken about the learning environment that the student have and how do we assess that learning environment so that we can plan our sessions better. So, here we have another activity for you all, which is fastest finger first. So, we are going to show you an image. In this image, there is a child whose name is Millie. So, if you see the image, you'll be able to understand that the child might be facing some challenges while she's studying at home. So our teachers have to identify those four challenges that Millie might be facing and share with us within 60 seconds. So this is the image, and our timer is starting over here. So as we can see, there is a child who is probably sitting or trying to study. There are parents. There is a younger sibling as well. So our timer has started, and we have to share four challenges that Millie might be facing in this space while she's trying to study.
Yes, and as we can see in this picture, that it is the picture of a household, and the child Millie is sitting on the left side, on the left corner, and trying to study. So many times, Sween, we also see that children are with parents, because many of the one of the parents generally stays at home only, and more so because of the lockdown. So how, it's a challenge for teachers also to help create a good learning environment at home.
Right. So, Mashud, there are few teachers who are sharing their answers with us. So, Rani ji is saying, yeah. So, Rani ji is saying that there are parents. So, there are teachers who are saying that the parents are speaking. There are teachers who are saying that the study environment is not appropriate. Ritu ma'am is saying that the parents can avoid the discussions when the child is trying to study.
Yes, and another of our Poonam Bansal ma'am is saying that the study environment is limited. Arshia ji is talking about fighting of the parents and single bedroom and inconvenience of the place. We also have Hemlata ma'am, who's talking about that there's a TV radio which is playing while the child is, while the child is there, and because of this, there are the environment is not very conducive for the studying. So many such ideas which are being shared. Parveen ji is talking about no privacy and noisy location as well. Um,
Right.
so these are some challenges, Sween, which our teachers have shared on how the child is, for example, not the learning environment might be challenging for the child. So how can we help the child uh, be a good planner in terms of planning their own learning environment and planning their own studies during this phase of virtual teaching and learning?
Right, Mashud. So, for helping the students in planning their studies, there can be few points that we need to keep in mind. So, first is creating a routine and following it. So, as we know that when the students were going to school before the lockdown, they were getting up on time, they were getting ready, they were having their breakfast, and then they were leaving for school. So, similar kind of routine can be adopted here as well, and it would be good if we can start with certain amount of physical exercises or yoga to start with the day. The next point is that we need to be prepared for our classes. So we need to have the essential resources, which can be stationary, and most importantly, we can have a device which has internet connection while we are going to start our remote class. Then there should be a specific reading space for the children. So the specific reading space should be allocated in a space or in a way that there are no disturbances, there is no noise of the TV. So or maybe we can also see that when the child starts his or her day, he or she can just clean the space and then start with the day with the positive vibes. Then we can also make sure that the students are making notes, as we know that the teachers are sharing a few of the notes through PDFs or through the video. So it is always important to take notes so that it is easier for us to revise later. And then we are talking about always respond to a teacher. So if we are having any kind of queries, or if we want to ask something, or if you want to respond to the answer, the question that the teacher is asking, so we should always raise hand politely, and we should try to answer. So these can be few of the points that we need to keep in mind to help the students in planning their learning better. So Mashood, what is the role of the parents while the students are learning?
So parents have a very important role, especially now, because generally a child spends 6 to 7 hours in the school environment and the rest of the time with parents or near parents, and now they're spending almost 24 hours in or around, in that environment with parents. So it's actually a great opportunity where parents can now finally play that role, which teachers have so long also wanted, that they should support the child, they should give motivation to the child, they should give feedback to the child, so that whatever is taught by the teacher, it is well supported and integrated at home as well. So let's also try and understand from our audience what they feel are three ways in which parents can help the child concentrate on their studies during lockdown. And we would request all our teachers to share their ideas on the chat section, and the timer starts now as well. What we also see is that teachers have generally, have a concern that many of the parents are, they are not they might not be very aware about the virtual, how the teaching process is happening during the lockdown. They, for example, they have to give that support to this student. They have to give access to the devices, if the WhatsApp is being used for teaching process. So these are some concerns which teachers have shared with us in the previous trainings as well. So what can those parents do to create that good learning environment? We are also getting some responses from our teachers as well. So
Right, Mashood?
yes.
So our teachers are sharing a few of the ideas with us. So they are saying that parents can help the children. Raji Reddy is saying that we can provide a study environment to the students, and it is also important that we encourage our students.
Yes. Yes. So also, Pedi Lavanya ji is talking about providing online platforms wherever possible. And also, Chandrasekhar ji has mentioned that we should train parents so as to handle the children well as well. And also, Satu Sravananthi ji is talking about discussing, helping to develop basic knowledge, correct the mistakes. So these are, with this, our timer has also ended. But we are getting a lot of different suggestions. For example, Nisha Chauhan ji is talking about supervision and motivation. Sanatan Raj ji is talking about giving moral support. And these are multiple aspects which are being shared by our teachers, where the role of the parents has been discussed. So, Sween, if we also
Right,
look at using some of these points, what is the role of parents, if we can also share this with the audience, in terms of how they can help create the learning environment?
right, Mashud. So let us have a look that how can parents help the students while they're studying at home. So these are few points that we can keep in mind. So we can provide an appropriate learning space. In this space, we can avoid that there is no high volume of TV. The siblings are not there, or maybe the parents can avoid any kind of discussions while the students are studying. We can ensure as parents that the students are taking their notes. So as we know that the students are being shared the pdfs and other kind of material, or maybe through the videos. So as parents we can just keep taking the notes, and we can ensure that the students are taking those notes. Be aware of the teaching plan. So as we know that our teachers have a teaching plan, maybe throughout the week or for some days. So we can make sure that we as parents are also aware of that particular plan, and we can see that how is it being followed, and we can also follow the particular plan through whatsapp or call or whatever medium the teachers are using to share the particular plan. Then when we're talking about accountability for the homework, so as we know that the students are not regularly going to the schools and the teachers are not regularly monitoring the students. So here as parents our role becomes even more important, that we can just monitor that how well the students are doing their homework, are they completing their homework on time, or are they able to have the quality homework. Then when we talk about holistic development, then academics is definitely an important part of the holistic development. Apart from that, we can also make sure that the students get indulged in few of the activities, maybe like music, dance, or yoga, or whatever is of interest to the child and whatever the child likes to do. So these can be few of the points that as parents we can keep in mind while the students are studying at home.
Right. And also, on this note, there's a question, Sween, which Ravindra Reddy sir is saying. So he's saying that the providing online classes wherever possible is a good idea. However, we have to give some information to the parents on how to overcome the technical issues. Now, this is a very good question, and what Ravindra sir is asking is also we have to also identify in our class who are the more active parents, or who are the parents who have some more technical knowledge. So if we are teaching children who, let's say, belong to a particular community or a particular village, or any particular block, then how are there certain parents in that block or that village where the parents have good knowledge of, for example, how to use mobile phone. Can they, for example, be a coordinator with more parents? So if you can appoint 5 parent coordinators, which we'll also discuss in the coming section, how can we have those identify those parents who will coordinate with the rest of the parents, tell them about what the lesson plan is in the coming one week. They should encourage them to, for example, use the give access to the child to the internet connection and devices. So this is one way in which we can use the certain parent volunteers for this process as well. And Sween, like you mentioned that, like we are collaborating with parents, which we'll discuss now. We are also this is a great opportunity where teachers can collaborate with the other teachers as well in their school, uh, and use this and integrate that into the planning process. So if you, for example, look at the important stakeholders in our education right now, the teachers are very important, the parents are also very important, and last but not the least, the students. We actually have this great opportunity where we can collaborate with students, give them responsibilities, and make them more independent learners. So, if you look at a first stakeholder, which is the teachers, so what aspects, Sween, on which aspects can we collaborate? Can the class teacher and the different subject teachers collaborate with each other to make this planning and virtual teaching, distance teaching process more effective?
Right, Mashood. So during this lockdown situations, we can definitely see our collaborations with the community stakeholders as an opportunity. So when we are specifically talking about collaborating with other teachers, so we can discuss with other teachers that what is the learning environment. So we can make a checklist of the learning environment, and maybe the class teacher can be the appropriate person to do so, because it might remain same across different subjects. We can also finalize certain rules while the students are studying at home. So we can also discuss this with the teachers, as every teacher has a different set of students and is having different kind of experiences. So we can also discuss the new teaching ideas so that we can implement those ideas in the coming week. So maybe if we plan our lessons per week, or maybe for the coming 2 3 days, so we can implement those new teaching ideas and we can plan our week accordingly. We can also conduct joint calls with parents every week to discuss how well the students are doing, and this can be a very good way of also giving the feedbacks to the students in presence of the parents. So we can have these progress sharing calls maybe at the end of every week. So, Mashood, we have spoken about how we can collaborate with different teachers. So, as we know that parents are also like a very crucial stakeholder of the community. So, what are the things that we need to keep in mind in order to polish our collaborations with our parents?
Yes. So as you mentioned that just like we should discuss the checklist with our parents, with our teachers as well, we should also discuss this with our specific parents as well, and we should identify parent volunteers as well. So the role of the parent volunteer will be, first of all, we make them group facilitators for coordinating with other parents. And I think one of our teachers had also commented that which we'll just bring up here, that how the community can be involved. So I think Sony Dev ji, Sony ma'am is saying that in villages first we need to conduct a meeting with village sarpanch and village heads about the online classes and technology. So while this role in fact can be given to the parent, where we can identify these active parents and say that you are the active parents and you have the responsibility for ensuring that our students are learning well during this lockdown period. So the parent should go and talk to the village community members and say that, if they don't have access to mobile or they don't have access to internet, uh, if they can arrange some kind of community resources for that as well. Maybe one person who has internet or mobile, they can share it with multiple households as well. It is challenging, but we should definitely try this as well. The second aspect is also, Sween, looking at how we can make parents a person who is giving feedback on how students are responding. When we are in class, what we see is that students, they have access to the teacher. The teacher can observe what is happening, and because of that they are able to get feedback directly. Now the teacher is not able to directly see what's happening. They are able to only understand through the responsiveness of the child on WhatsApp or on phone call. So getting them to give feedback is important. And the third aspect is also about, we use this time to develop the skills of students. So for example, there are different learning skills which we'll discuss in this presentation, but in addition to academic skills, the other skills, the holistic development aspect which we are talking about, extracurricular activities, is the child doing painting or dancing, public speaking, quizzing, whatever they want. So we have to identify with the parents what skills of the child should be developed, because this is a great opportunity, and request parents to give suggestions as well. If we also look at how the collaboration can also
Right,
happen
Mashood?
directly with students as well, Sween.
Right, Mashood. So the students are definitely a very important aspect of collaborations and of course the community. So there can be few points that we need to keep in mind. So we can make the students partners in planning different activities. So supposedly if we are celebrating the literature fest or any days, so we can make the students partner in celebrating those days. We can create a group of the students to create newsletters as well. So if the students are participating in certain activities, if we are celebrating certain events, certain days, that then we can make certain groups of the students so that a weekly or a monthly newsletter can also be published. It will also enhance the writing skills and creative aspect of the student. Also, we can identify a group in which we can plan and conduct the debate competitions. So there can be debate competitions and there can be group discussions as well, which might be related to the curriculums we are having. So let's say it can be related to pollution, it can be related to environment or other topics which are specific to the particular age group and the grades. Also, we can co-plan the sessions on social and emotional needs of the students, like what can be the tolerance, what can be the other emotional aspects, how do we communicate, how do we deal with parents, how what kind of relationship between the parent and the child should be there. So these kind of things can be kept in mind while we are talking about the social and emotional needs of the students. Right.
Yes.
uh, so So, Mashood, as we also see that there can be few of the core learning skills, as we were talking initially, that we want to make our students self-directed and independent learners. So, what can be few of the core skills that can impact the students in a positive way?
Yes, and these six core learning skills is something which is very important and which all teachers are already working on in this whole process. Before we talk about the learning skills, we would also like to take some more comments as well. One of our teachers has, for example, mentioned that for the online classes for the village students, we must provide TVs with internet connection, and the TV put in the community hall or open places and other isolated places. So this is also another interesting idea where the resource which you're using, whether it's a TV, it's a community resource, and with some social distancing, this thing can be done. At the same time, we are also getting another comment from uh, Kranti Kumari ji. She is saying that Kranti Kumari ji, they're saying that it's a triangle, interdependent triangle between teachers, students, and parents. The collaboration process, which can be fruitful in this aspect, and practicality of online teaching learning as well. So these are some very interesting ideas which are coming from the teachers as well. One more comment has come from Ragiri ji, who is saying we can give regular feedbacks through Google Forms, where students can easily give the feedback without being shy. So this is an interesting aspect as well. We got another question from one of the teachers is talking about how for example, some of the village in the rural areas, sometimes the parents might not have complete education accomplishments themselves, but how can they teach? So now this question is all this concern is valid. To Reddy ji, I would like to say that the parents can supervise, even if the parent is not very educated, has not completed the same education which their children are going to now. Then it is still this a good parent will be still able to give supervision to the child, will be able to ask the child, has he or she done the homework, when the online classes are happening, or when, if the teacher has given any task on the WhatsApp, is the child completing that, give moral support. So all these aspects are something which a child can, which a parent, even if they don't have the education accomplishment, can still talk about. So with this, I would like to also invite our colleague Ipshita to also discuss, to come in here and talk about the six core learning skills which teachers do during, according to the Bloom's taxonomy, also develop among students, and how during the virtual teaching process as well, these six skills can be developed using digital resources as well. So with this, we would like to welcome Ipshita on our stage. And Ipshita, I think we were also discussing about how these six core learning skills are very important, which teachers develop among students as well, and how we can use technology and digital resources to develop the same.
Right. Thank you, Mashood. A very good morning to all the teachers. And let's talk about the various six core learning skills that a child can develop using the Bloom's taxonomy. So the first skill is remembering. So remembering is any kind of video or any kind of material can be shared with the child, and then he can remember or recounter what he has learned from it. The second core learning skill we can talk about is understanding. Now, after a resource is shared with the child, what kind of a understanding he's creating from it? For example, we have shared, linear equations with a child. We have shared a video or a resource from linear equation. Now, how he's applying the various operations of addition, mathematics, subtraction, multiplication. So that kind of understanding comes under this kind of a skill. The third skill that a child can develop is the skill of applying. Now, what kind of application can be there when the child learns the equations, or he can do the basic summation, or he can use addition, subtraction, multiplication for various operations that are involved in mathematics. So these kind of things come under the applying skill of a child. Then comes the skill of analyzing. So, analyzing is when the child breaks the information into small fragments. Now, for example, I say the term data analysis. So, what is data analysis? By using the various, bar graphs or pie charts, the child can learn the data analysis from the analyzing skill. Then comes the skill of Then comes the skill of evaluating. Now, evaluation is how much the child has grasped the skill. Now, judging the value of information that has been shared with the child, how he is using that information to go ahead and apply those concepts in real life. So the last skill that the child has is creating. Now, using the information, the child can create various models, or in these, we'll be talking about online software tomorrow in the tomorrow session, where the child can create various posters, various infographics, and he can go for various presentations also in future by using all the skills. So these are the six core learning skills that we talked about. Now, Sween, if we talk about the core learning skills, now how these core learning skills will help the children to be a independent learner.
Right, Ipshita. So we have seen that these core learning skills can be very impactful and can positively impact the students. So now, if we talk about developing independent learning skills, so can we, Ipshita, share with our teachers a particular framework or a process that they can follow so that the students can become independent?
Right, Sween. So we share the concept of watch, think, and practice over here. Now, in the what section, what we can do, we can share certain visual aids with the child, and it can understand him or her to have the concepts, in a better way. Like we say, a picture is more than 1,000 words. So when a picture is created in the mind of a child, so he will or she will understand the concept in a better way. It will also enhance the observation skills of the child. Now, the second section that we can talk about is the think section. Now, in the think section, a few of the questions or the leading questions can be shared with the child after a visual is shared with him. And it will, create this inquisitiveness or the sense of curiosity in the child that why a certain process is happening. So this will help him to build connections between the concept, and then eventually he might use these connections to have concepts linked between two or three subjects, and also it will also deepen the learning knowledge of the kid. Now, if we talk about the practice section, now practice section is basically when the child has learned the concept from the what section and the think section eventually, then how to develop the expertise of that concept. So in that way, we can use various evaluation techniques with the child. We can share various practice sessions or practice tests so that child becomes a holistic and independent learner. Now, Sween, we talked about the various skills, the core learning skills in Bloom's taxonomy. Then we talked about the watch, think, practice, which will help the child to be an independent learner. Now, let's do another activity, which is called fastest finger first, to see what kind of skills are enhanced by the what section. And let's see what our teachers have to say about it.
Right, Ipshita. So let us have an activity for our teachers. So in this activity, our teachers have to share that what kind of skills according to them are enhanced in the students by using watch section. So again, we will be having a time of 1 minute, and our teachers have to share the answers with us in the comment section. So here our timer is starting.
Right, Swing. So the timer has started, and I can see some of the teachers have also started answering the questions.
Right. Right, Ipshita. So our teachers are thinking that what can be the skills of a student that are enhanced by the what section. So
Right.
Sai Vidya ji is saying that analyzing skill can be enhanced by using the watch section.
Right.
And Sai Vidya ji is also saying that we can also enhance observation skill by using watch section.
Right.
Santosh ji is saying that we can use charts in order to give our students a visual aid. So are we also having certain different kind of comments, Ipshita?
Right, Sween. So like this one teacher is sharing, Miss Anuradha is sharing that observation and sharing comprehensions with kids can, enhance the watch skill in children. Then Arshia ma'am is saying that creating, applying the technology for studies can increase the observation skills in children. Then, you know, Miss Bansal is saying that it will create the picture in students' mind and they can learn better.
Right. So, Ipshita, here our time is also over, and our teachers have shared many skills that can be enhanced through a watch section when we are giving certain visual aids to our students. So, also now let us share with our teachers that what skills are enhanced by the watch sections.
Right, Sween. So, if we talk about the skills that are enhanced by the what section, so the first skill is clarity in concept. When I talked about that sharing various visual aids with the children, so a picture is created in their mind, and they will know much better about why a phenomena is happening in around their surroundings. For example, I take a water cycle. So, if I share a small video with the children about how the water cycle is happening, so they will have a fair idea why certain processes are happening around them. Then the second is that their observation skills will be enhanced. So they will be much more aware about how about the surroundings that they live in, and they'll try to relate those concepts into their day to day life. Now comes the part where they will connect those concepts with the daily life. If I talk about again water cycle, now water cycle is consisting of various processes like evaporation, like condensation, and it gives rise to certain phenomena in nature like rain, snowfall. So these kind of connections can be formed using the what section.
Right, Ipshita. And our teachers are still sharing few of the interesting ideas with us. So,
Right.
Muragi is saying that we can enhance keen observation in the students. Naresh ji is saying that learning can become joyful if we use such like visual aids with our students. So, this was about few of the skills which can be enhanced through the watch section. So
Right.
now, Ipshita, let us take our teachers through Gurushala and see some of the resources that are available on Gurushala that we can use in the watch section.
Right, Sween. So, if we talk about the what section, Gurushala is basically a resource platform which helps the teachers in capacity building and various problems that they are facing in day to day life. So, let's go to the Gurushala portal, and I'll show to the teachers that how they can use the portal into their day to day class activity. So as you can see, this is how widely the Gurushala portal looks like. So if I scroll down, Gurushala basically has these four sections over here. First is the courses section, then is the content library section, then is a research corner and staff room. Now, Gurushala is a bilingual platform, and if I click here, it can be available in both in Hindi and English. Now, talking about how the teachers can access the platform, so teachers can type the URL in their Google www.gurushala.co, and it will redirect them to the platform on our website. Now, on the right hand corner of this site, you can see the sign in and sign up option. So, when I click in the sign in option over here, I will be having a box kind of thing in front of me. Now, teachers have three options of logging in. Either they can use the Facebook ID to log in, the Google ID to log in, or they can also register on Gurushala using their mobile number. Now, for example, I choose that I wish to use my Google ID for login just in case I don't want to miss any update or I don't want to miss any event that is happening on Gurushala. So it directly comes in my Gmail ID. So I can click on the Google icon over here, and it will redirect me to the Gmail account that I'm having with Google. So it will redirect me to the Google account. So for example, I am having the Google accounts over here, and I can click on any Google account I wish to receive information from Gurushala. For example, I choose this. Now, after logging in, I will be again redirected to the Gurushala portal, and I will be successfully signed in that. And then I can use, various courses section, various digital. I can access the digital library section also from here. So I can again click on the home icon over here, and I'll be redirected to the first page that we saw. So Gurushala, as I told before, that has four sections: the courses section, the content library section, staff room section, the research corner. So if I talk about the courses section, in the courses section, Gurushala offers the teachers self-paced, interactive, and free of cost courses which are based on innovative pedagogies and classroom management skills. So right now, Gurushala is having 40 plus course modules. Our teachers can go after the session and have a look at the courses platform and enroll in the courses free of cost. Now, if we talk about the content library, so content library is having various digital resources, and we are hosting 7,000 plus digital resources in regional languages also. Like we talk about Telugu, Marathi, Gujarati, English, Hindi. So these kind of resources are also hosted on Gurushala Resource Library. And then there are various subjects also that you can have the resources from, like mathematics, English, Hindi. So all these things and all these content pieces are curriculum aligned. If we talk about the staff room feature over here, so staff room feature is basically for connecting and engaging with various teachers across the country. If we see, if for example, in real life scenario, we see that teachers generally, they gather together in the staff room and discuss if any problem is coming in their day to day teaching activity. So like that, this is the form of a virtual staff room where the teachers can connect and engage with each other, and have various discussions about any problem they're facing with a child, or any new teaching or emerging strategies they are having for student engagement and teaching in an effective way. Now, in my left hand side, you can also see few icons like leaderboard and teacher community. Now, if we talk about leaderboard, so Gurushala also hosts various competitions with teachers on a daily basis. And leaderboard is basically a ranking platform for teachers where the teachers are ranked according to the number of competitions they take part and what are their scores. So, it's basically a very good practice, and we would encourage all the teachers that after the session, they connect to Gurushala and do such competitions with us on a daily basis. So for the teacher community, for if I talk about the teacher community section, for example, we talk about the teachers of Telangana. So you can connect with all the teachers across there, and create a community called for Telangana teachers, or local area communities like that, where all the teachers can connect together and share their ideas with each other. Now, as we talk about the what section, so let me take you through the Gurushala content library. So as I talked about, Gurushala's content library is having digital resources, around about 7,000 plus digital resources. And we have like regional content resources also. So this is how the Gurushala digital resource library looks like. Now, if I talk about the various filters that we have, so on my left side, you can see we have filters like we have subject filters, then we have various content type filters, then we have class filters, then what kind of content that needs to be shared with the children, whether it can be an introductory video, whether it can be a slideshow, or it can be in a PDF format, a chapter quiz, or some kind of practice questions can also be given from time to time. And when I talk about the languages, I already mentioned that we have various regional languages content resources also. Like we have Telugu over here, we have Gujarati, we have Marathi, then obviously Hindi and English. So let's see how we can use these resources for the what section. Now, in the what section, we can introduce them, the children, with various introductory videos related to, for example, I took the example of water cycle. So I can either scroll down and find the resources in the library by scrolling down, or either I can just type in the keyword water cycle over here and the video will appear in front of me. For example, I type the water cycle in the search tab, and using this keyword, I can access easily the resource I want to share with the children. Now, when I type this in the search tab, so you can see this thumbnail of the video is present over here, which talks about the introduction to water cycle. Now, if I click on it, I'll be navigated to another window in the portal where I can view the resource from the and play the resource or share the link with the children. Now, if I click on this button over here, you can see the button of view resource. The window will open and it will start playing in the player.
Didi, why has it suddenly become dark?
Looks like it will rain now.
Didi, how does the water come from the sky? Is there a huge tank up there?
Right. So as we saw over here, that the children are talking to each other, and they are talking about the question. They are left with a question that why is the water coming up from there? So such kind of introductory videos can be shared, which can end with a question. And after sharing such videos, leading questions can be given to the child, where he's encouraged to think about it more. And this is how we inculcate the watch practice into the children's life.
Right, Ipshita. So here we are having a question from Ragiri ji. So she's saying that can we also download the PDFs? So yes, ma'am. If there is a content which is available in form of PDFs, we can download it and we can use it offline as well. So we will also be showing you some contents which are in the form of PDF. So you can have a look, and similarly you can download and use it.
Right, Sween. So, Sween, we took our teachers through the Gurushala resource library. Now, are there any strategies that the teachers can use where they can use these video or book resources from our digital library while teaching the students?
Right, Ipshita. So there are strategies for using a video or a book while we are teaching the students. So there is a strategy which is flipping the class with a video or a book. So what happens in the normal classes is that we generally teach a particular concept first, and then we just share a video or a portion of the book with the students. But now, since we are teaching virtually, what we can do is we can flip the classroom. So here we can use a video, or we can share a content piece first, and then we can have a discussion about the particular concept. So there are few things that we need to keep in mind while we are using flipping the classroom. So it can be used for the concepts about which at least the students are having some basic knowledge, right? And there are a few steps that we need to keep in mind while we are flipping the class. So these are the steps. The first one is that select a video or the portion of the book which explains the concept. So initially we need to select a particular video and the portion of the book. Then we need to share that video or the portion of the book with the student along with the leading questions. So in flipping the class, the questions play a very important role, as it helps the students in thinking and in brainstorming. So we definitely should give some leading questions to the students. Then we need to tell the students that they can think and write the answers to the questions that are given to them. And in the last step, we can have a discussion on the concept that is discussed and about the questions that are given to them. So Ipshita, now let us take our teachers through Gurushala and view some of the resources that can be used in flipping the classroom.
Right, Sween. So, as we mentioned, that flipping the classroom, it's a great concept where the teachers can share few video resources with the children before the classroom, and then they can be given various questions related to that video. So let's go again to the content library section in Gurushala. Now, for example, I want to I'm a teacher and I want to tell my students that how a circulatory system works. So in the language section, I can go in the Telugu language filter, and when I click on this filter, all my content will be filtered in the Telugu language, and various videos, as you can see over here, they are available in Telugu over here. So I can scroll down and I can see where the circulatory system video is present, or I can like I shared before, that I can also type in the keyword and then search, put it in the search tab, and the video will appear. So this is the circulatory system video present over here, and I can click on it again, and I'll again be navigated to the view resource video, where the if I click on it, then the video will be played in the player. So as you can see again, the view resource button is present over here, and when I click on the button, the video will play in the player.
రక్త ప్రసరణ వ్యవస్థ. హృదయ స్పందనను మీరు ఎప్పుడైనా అనుభూతి చెందారా? వేగంగా పరిగెత్తునప్పుడు గుండె వేగంగా కొట్టుకోవడాన్ని మీరు ఖచ్చితంగా అనుభూతి చెంది ఉంటారు. అప్పుడప్పుడు భయపడినప్పుడు కూడా మీ గుండె వేగంగా కొట్టుకోవడాన్ని బహుశా మీరు విని ఉంటారు.
మీరు మీ గుండెపై చేయవేసి స్వయంగా అనుభూతి చెందండి.
ఛాతీలో ఏ వైపు గుండె చప్పుడును బాగా అనుభూతి చెందుతున్నారు? ఎడమ వైపు. ఇలా ఎందుకు అనిపిస్తుందంటే మన గుండె ప్రక్కటెముకలలో కొంచెం ఎడమ వైపు ఉంటుంది. మీకు తెలుసా, మన గుండె ఒక రోజులో సుమారుగా 1,00,000 సార్లు కొట్టుకుంటుంది. అంటే ఒక సంవత్సరంలో సుమారుగా 3.5 కోట్ల సార్లు. ఇది చాలా కష్టపడుతుంది. బహుశా అందుకే దీనికి శరీరంలో అన్నిటికంటే చాలా బలం కావాలి. కానీ ఈ హృదయ స్పందనలు అన్నీ ఎందుకోసం? పదండి చూద్దాం. మన గుండె మన పిడికిలంతా ఆకారంలో ఉండే కండరంతో తయారైన ఒక అవయవం. ఇది ఒక పంపు లాగా పనిచేస్తుంది. ఈ పంపుతో రక్తం శరీరం అంతా వ్యాపిస్తుంది మరియు తిరిగి వెనుకకు వస్తుంది. వెళ్లే సమయంలో ఆక్సిజన్, పోషక పదార్థాలను తీసుకొని వెళ్తుంది, మరియు శరీరం నుండి తిరిగి వచ్చే సమయంలో కార్బన్ డయాక్సైడ్, ఇతర వ్యర్థ పదార్థాలను తీసుకొని వస్తుంది. ఈ వెళ్లి వచ్చే ప్రక్రియ క్రమంగా జరగడాన్ని ఈ పంపు నిరంతరం లబ్ డబ్ అని అంటూ పనిచేస్తూ ఉంటుంది. గుండెకు 4 గదులు ఉంటాయి. 2 ఎడమవైపు మరియు 2 కుడివైపు, 2 మీద మరియు 2 కింద ఉంటాయి. పైవైపు ఉన్న గదులను కర్ణికలు అంటారు. క్రింద వైపు ఉన్న గదులను జఠరికలు అంటారు. ఇది ఎడమ కర్ణిక మరియు ఇది కుడి కర్ణిక. అయితే క్రింద భాగంలో ఉన్న
Right. So we can share such kind of videos with children, and then we can talk about. We can give them various leading questions. For example, questions can encompass around that they can create a flow chart about circulatory system, and then how the blood pumps into the system. Then they can give questions like, what if a situation can be given that if a child is running fast, then what will be the consequences, how the blood will be pumped in the whole body. Then they can as we saw that the video also talked about various heart sounds. So they can give questions related to integral, how heart is forming an integral part of the body. So such questions can be given, which will nudge the children to think more about the topic. So and before sharing such content, one thing that should be kept in mind, that children should have a little background about the topic that you are sharing the video about. So that is how we can use various digital resources for talking about flipped classroom. Now Sween,
Right,
will we...
Akshita?
Right, Sween.
Yeah. So here we are having a question. So Purna Chandra ji is asking that is our content which is there in the courses and in the content library, is it aligned to the syllabus?
I would like to address the question, ma'am. That the content that is present in the Gurushala library, it is curriculum aligned, and you can go and access the content on the Gurushala library after the session gets over.
Right, Ipshita. So, as we have gone through what section, we have seen that what can be the skills which can be enhanced through what section, what kind of resources we can use, and we have also discussed about flipping the classroom and what is the importance of having the questions in flipping the classroom and what kind of resources can be used over there. So, Ipshita, now let us make our teachers think before we move on to the think section. So, can we have a riddle over here for our teachers?
Right, Sween. So we've generally seen that teachers, they use various triggers for children to use thinking into some kind of, some lessons or something. So where here we can use various riddles to, trigger our thinking process in our teachers so that they can brainstorm a bit about it, and then they can answer the riddles in our comment section or the YouTube chat section. So the first riddle that is coming on the screen, I'll read out. What's black when you get it, red when you use it, and white when you have used it? What am I? So similarly, the second riddle says, if a man carried my burden, he would break his neck. He would break his back. I'm not rich, but I leave silver in my track. What am I? And similarly, the third riddle says, what has no weight, but it's heavy enough to sink a ship? What am I? So, right now the timer has started, and I would request all the teachers to kindly share their answers in the comment section or the chat section with us.
Right, Ipshita. So our teachers are sharing few of the answers with us. As Durga ji is saying, one of the answers is coal.
Right.
Anita ji is right. So Anita ji is also saying that the answer is coal.
Right, Sween. Rani ma'am is sharing the answer as coal. And have any teacher shared all the answers about the riddle? Can we see that, Sween? Any teacher has done that?
Yeah, so we are having different answers. These are coal. Nisha ma'am is saying the answer is snail. Then Rani ma'am again is saying that the answer is one of the answers is hole. So this way there are many answers. A few of the other answers are Manjula ji is saying that the answer is air. Reddy ji is saying that the answer is air. Yeah, so these are few of the answers that our teachers are sharing with us. So now our time is also up, and let us have the correct answers on the screen.
Right. So correct answers are coal, snail, and hole. And we have seen that many of the teachers have answered correctly the answer of the riddles. And this activity has been really a brainstorming session for all our teachers. Generally, your teachers trigger the students to think about a certain topic. Now we have, in the form of riddles, we have triggered the minds of teachers to think more about these riddles and give us the answers.
Right, Ipshita.
Right.
So now let us move on to the next section, which is think section. So let us first ask our teachers again through our activity, which is fastest finger first. Here our teachers have to share three different ways in which a teacher can make the students think about a particular topic. So the teachers have to share their answers in the comment section, and the timer is starting now.
Right, Sween. So the timer has started, and I can see that teachers have already started, answering in the chat section.
Right. So our teachers are also thinking and brainstorming about what can be the three ways in which we can make our students think about a particular topic. So Sayed ji is saying, yeah, so Sayed ji is saying that we can also have riddles, puzzles, videos. Nisha ma'am is saying that we can show the PPTs, videos. Padma ma'am is saying that we can have the crosswords.
Right. So Ravi sir has shared with us a very nice thing. He's saying that reading books can be, one way where we can nudge for thinking. Then Satish sir is saying that quiz can be a great option.
Right, Ipshita. So here our time is also up, and our teachers have shared many different ways through which we can make our students think. So few of the other ways can be that the teachers have shared are puzzles, pictures, by motivating the students, by sharing short stories, by sharing quiz, by sharing riddles. So these are few of the ideas that our teachers have shared with us. So now let us go through Gurushala and have a look at few of the resources on Gurushala that we can use in Think section.
Right, Sween. So as we saw that, what are the various skills we talked about? The teachers are talking about that. What are the various skills that the Think section can help out kids with? So let's again go to the Gurushala library, and then we can see that what kind of resources can be shared with the children for thinking section. So in the thinking section, basically we are telling the children, we're developing the question, putting up a question kind of thing in front of the teacher, and we're developing the questioning nature of the child, or curiosity that generally a child has. So let's see. So for example, I want to share the resource from math section now, and I can click on the subject filter of mathematics over here. Then I can also think about that I can use various language filters also over here. So for example, language that I have chosen, it will be for example English. So if I click on the language filter, the content will be filtered in English now. So all the content pieces that are available in the English language will appear in front of me. Now teachers might have this question that what kind of resources we can share, like in what section we shared introductory videos, what are the resources in the think section that we can do. So in here we can share resources like daily life example, which children can relate. For example, if I talk about data analysis or bar graphs, so what kind of skill child will enhance through that. So you can share these resources. These are easily available on Gurushala library, and these are in PDF format, which can be viewed and which can also be downloaded by the teachers, and then shown to the students after a while. So here we take the example of data analysis, like I said. So there can be a question that when do we use the bar graph for data analysis, and then various answers will be given with help of an example. For example, here we can use the data analysis for bar graphs for comparing marks of various students of different subjects, or cricket scores in different matches, and so on. So such kind of resources are available in Gurushala library and can be used for enhancing the thinking power of the children.
Right, Ipshita. So we have seen few of the resources on Gurushala that we can use in the Think section.
Right, Sween. So, Sween, we talked about that various resources can help the children to, inculcate the thinking power in them. So, are there any, does the surroundings around them also play a role in which the child is nudged to think about a certain topic?
Yes, definitely, Ipshita. Surrounding does play an important role, as we also shared an example which the child can associate with his or her daily life. So surrounding does play an important role, and we can use interdisciplinary projects when we are talking about learning from the surroundings. So Ipshita, here we can see a sentence on the screen. Can you please read this sentence for us?
Right, Sween. So the sentence goes as follows. Subject teachers can plan together and design a set of activities for students which are common and cover their subject concepts.
Right, Ipshita. So, if I highlight certain text over here, it says plan together, set of activities, common, and cover their subject concepts. So, basically, in interdisciplinary projects, we have teachers from multiple subjects who come together and design a particular project. So, in that one common project, there are activities from different subjects and different concepts from different subjects are used. So, let us see that how do we create such interdisciplinary projects. So how can we identify such projects? So here we have a checklist which can help us in identifying such projects. So first thing is that we need to understand that there should be at least 4 to 5 subjects that we can cover in one particular project. The student should be able to find the resources at home. So as we all know that these are not the normal times and it might be difficult for the students to go out and collect the resources, so we can try that the resources that the students are using are available at home. It should be related to the daily life of the students so that the students are able to connect with a particular project and with the particular activities in a better way. A project can engage the family as well. So here we can see that how can we engage different members of the family if possible. So maybe we can have engagements from our grandparents, younger and elder siblings, and parents as well. The project should also allow his or her learning of the past years. So there can be projects in which the students can use their learning from previous classes or from the previous chapters that the students have learned. Also, the project can give a sense of accomplishment and recognition to the child. As the students are going to make a lot of efforts, these projects do cover a certain time and they go over a period of weeks. So if we will be recognizing the students, if the students will be feeling accomplished, then it will be a positive and a good feeling for them. So according to the indicators which are there on the checklist, so if we are having 4 or more ticks in the boxes, then we are like good to go for the project and we can take the project ahead. So Ipshita, can we understand this checklist better, that how do we identify the particular project using a certain example?
Right, Sween. So Sween shared with us that various things that needs to be kept in mind in the form of checklist while identifying a project. Now let's see an example of a medicinal garden over here. So we have various we've divided it into checklists. So the first point is that a project should cover concepts related to 4 5 subjects. Now how to do that? Now for example, in medicinal garden we have various plants, we are having soil. So we can give concepts of geography, that how climate is enhancing the growth of a plant. Then we can give various names of the plants in biological names of the plants. Then we can write various journey of the plant. So certainly we can relate these 4 to 5 subjects. So hence we'll have a checkbox over here and we'll tick that box. So the second point is that students should be able to find all the resources at their home. So many of the students are having plants around them, then they're having their own gardens or lawns, or they might have small pots also around them. So this point also satisfied the criteria. Then the fourth point is that it should be related to the daily life of the students. So students generally, they see these gardens, they see greenery around them. They also know that it increases the aesthetics of the surroundings, so they can relate with their daily life also. Now project can engage the family as well. Now if we talk about family, many of the grandparents or parents of the children, they are interested in gardening activities. So the child can engage in all these activities along with them. And if we talk about the context of lockdown, so they'll be more busy in some activity and will be actively involved in it. So we can see that we are having these 4 indicators satisfied. So hence we can give a green signal to the project and then go ahead by doing the project of a medicinal garden. So Sween, we talked about the various indicators or the checklist that is required for identifying the project. Now, what are the various activities that can be done once the project is chosen?
Right, Ipshita. So how we can identify the activities for a project? So first of all, we can plan the tasks. So we can plan the task according to the week. Maybe we can give 2 or 3 tasks to the students in a week. Then we can make a list of the activities that we are going to do with the students. We can make sure that the activities are easy to understand and comprehend with the students. We can also have a project book. So in the project book, the students can use their creative writing and art and craft skills, so that we come up with the information in a collated way. Then we can have a weekly my project day. So the students can work according to the my project day, and we can have a special day over here. So these can be few ways in which we can identify the activities in a chosen project. So, Ipshita, when we are talking about the activities, can we now just relate to how we can categorize these activities over a period of 4 weeks through the example that we are taking up of the medicinal garden?
Right, Sween. So, Sween, we can identify the various activities that we have chosen for the project. So, let's take the similar example of creating a medicinal garden. So, for week one, the task of preparing the land, the selection of plants can be given to the students. Then, for week two, they can sow the plants and then share with the teachers how they are doing it. Then, watering of plants and monitoring how the seed is coming into a seedling and then eventually into a plant. Then for week three, we can go for giving the responsibility to the children for making various name cards for each plant and then monitoring various growth factors that are involved in the plant. And then for by week four, we can give them for the work of compilation of how the progress has been throughout the previous weeks. So they can just do compile the whole thing and do it in a project book. So this can be taken as an example. Now, Sween, we've talked
Right.
about the example of various activities that can be done. Now, how to map the activities according to various subjects? How can we interlink various subjects according to these activities?
Right, Ipshita. So here we are trying to map the concepts. So we have a list of activities, and we are going to map the concepts of different subject with these particular activities. So the list of activities that we have are preparing the land, selection of lands, sowing of plants, watering of plants, study the growth of plants, making name cards for the plants, and completing the project book. So here we are having a list of the activities, and we have different subject in these columns that we can see. So the subjects can be science, mathematics, geography, social sciences, and writing. So now how can we use different concepts, and how can we map it with different subjects? So, if we are talking about preparing the land, so from science perspective, we can see that what is the quality of soil, what kind of nutrients are there in the soil. Then, if we talk about mathematics, we can see the measurement area and perimeter of the land that we have chosen. From writing perspective, we can see that we can have a journey note on like how we came across the land and how we prepared the land. When we're talking about selection of plants, we can take science perspective of how can what can be the possible uses of the plants. And here we can also incorporate the concept from social sciences, wherein we can also engage our grandparents or parents who are aware of the values that the plants have, or the medicinal values that the plants are having. When we move to sowing of plants, then through sowing of plant activity, we can understand a very important concept of science, which is photosynthesis. Then watering of plants, this we can relate to a concept of geography, which is climate. Then if we go to the next activity, which is study the growth of plants, here we can study the process of germination from science perspective, and we can also include natural vegetation concept from geography perspective. Now we are when we are talking about making the name cards, so we can have involvement of community development, which falls under social sciences. Also we can include science over here, as we do have scientific names for the plants. So while we are naming the plants, we can have local names as well as we can have scientific names. So from writing perspective, we can also write a journal over here. Lastly, when we are completing the project book, We can have a list of professions which are related to plants from social sciences perspective, and from writing perspective we can have a few stories which can be there. So also when we are preparing the project book, we can have certain creative and art and craft components, wherein we can mention that the students can use different parts of the plants like seeds, flowers, leaves, etc., so that they can beautify the project book, and they feel good about it also. So yeah, these are few of the activities, and how we can map these activities with different concepts of the subjects, right? So Ipshita, we have discussed in details about the interdisciplinary projects. We have seen that what important role it plays in thinking aspect, and how the students can brainstorm, and how we can connect different subjects and concepts from different subject in one particular project. So now let us go to Gurushala and see few of the interactive courses on interdisciplinary learning.
Right, Sween. So let's again go back to the Gurushala portal and go through the courses library on Gurushala portal. So if you can see, the courses section is present over here, and when I click on the courses section, I'll be navigated to the Gurushala course page. So as I talked about that, Gurushala courses are self-paced and they are free of cost courses, and teachers can enroll into them at any point of time and take the course. And we have 40 plus modules of these courses, and they can be completed as an independent module as a whole course. And then you can see the my repository section over here. If I click on it, so after completion of an independent module or a whole course, a certificate will be issued, and it will be stored in the repository section. So after after that point of time, that can be shared with different stakeholders, and teachers can download that also and keep it safe with them. So if I talk about the courses that Gurushala has are basically aligned around the 21st century skills that teachers require, and the various resource creation that can be done, especially in the time of lockdown, when teachers are making their best efforts for having the various resources created and shared with the children. And what could be the innovative teaching strategies which teachers can share with the children for making the lessons more engaging, interactive, and effective. So as we can see here, there is the course of interdisciplinary learning. If I click on the thumb lane, I'll be navigated to the courses platform again, where I can enroll. Now I have already logged in into the Gurushala portal, and I'm midway through the course. So you can see my progress over here. But if you are new to the course, then you have a enroll here for a button where you can click and enroll into the course. So this is how the courses looks like. We have an overview of the course where details about the course will be there, what elements of the course will be there, then what kind of skills will be covered during the course, and a syllabus. In the syllabus we have the various modules. So the course is having 4 modules over here, and each module has a structure of its own. If I talk about the first module, the structure is relate, in which audio will be played, where a teacher will be given various problems that he or she can face in the daily life. Then after that, a questionnaire will be shared on the basis of the video given. Then in the explore section, a solution will be given regarding the problem that was shared in the relate section. And then an infographic will also be shared for better understanding. Infographic is basically visual representation of a large amount of information, and it's a very great way and interactive way to show the information to the teachers. So then a game is also there, which will help the teachers in strategizing their classes in a better way. In the assess section, again, a final questionnaire will be there to see that what the teachers have learned from the module. And for the further reading section, if any teacher is interested in going for research, or they want to know further about what interdisciplinary learning is all about, or they want to know how to link the concept, so that for that purpose, further reading section is also there. So we request all the teachers that after the session they go and navigate through the Gurushala course library and take the enroll for the courses with us.
Right, Ipshita. So we have seen here that what kind of courses are there on Gurushala and how we can complete the entire course, which also gives us a certificate at the end when we are done with the particular modules. So, Ipshita, here we are also having certain suggestions and certain comments from the teachers. So,
Right, Sween.
Chandani ji is saying that we can use symmetry in mathematics, which can be an example of interdisciplinary method. Yes, definitely, ma'am. This can be a good example of interdisciplinary method when we are talking about mathematics. So,
Right,
this
Sween.
way there are right. So this way there are more like suggestions from our teachers. Like Shagupta ji is saying that subject-wise project plans can be there, which can be made. Right. So these are few of the suggestions that our teachers are sharing regarding the interdisciplinary learning and the project.
Right, Sween. Like Bhaskar sir is also saying that we can take the example of a water cycle, and then this kind of project can, encompass around various processes that takes place in physics, like condensation, rain gauge, then rain in social. Like we can also address various social issues of, how the deforestation is happening and how it is affecting the water cycle and the rain process. Then in biology, how transpiration is happening, and similarly how to measure rain with the help of mathematical tools. So that's a great idea, sir, that you've shared with us.
Right, Ipshita. So, so far, when we are talking about a framework or a process through which we can make our learners independent learners and self-directed, we have gone through a process or a framework which is of watch, think, and practice. We have discussed in details about watch and think section. So, we have seen that visual aids are very important for the students, which can also enhance the observation skills in the students. When we talk about the think section, it helps us in connecting with different concepts and our daily life examples. So we have also seen the resources on Gurushala which are relevant for watch and think section. So here now we are when we are moving towards the end of the session, I would like to mention that we will be taking up the practice section more in more details in tomorrow's session. So in tomorrow's session, we will be having a detailed discussion on practice component of watch, think, and practice framework. We will also be discussing about content creation. So as we all know that the teachers are sharing a lot of content in form of different books, PDFs, and videos. So how can we create that content in a more effective way so that it is more beneficial for the students? We'll also be talking about assessing remotely, as we had also seen that this is one of the challenges that our teachers are facing. So we will see that how in remote learning we can assess our students, and we will also talk about that what can be the situation post lockdown. So we will come across this the scenario that we might face in like post lockdown, and we will discuss that how we can overcome those particular challenges.
Right, Sween.
Right. So Ipshita, what can be the task for day one that we are giving to our teachers?
Yes, Sween. So task for day one would be that we are planning a task for interdisciplinary project. So Sween, can you share the few steps for the task?
Yes.
Right. So in first step, we can click on the link that will be shared in the YouTube description box or the chat section, where the teachers can click and then they can go on to the Gurushala portal by logging in by www.gurushala.co. In step 3, they have to complete the first module of the course, that is interdisciplinary learning, and eventually in step 4 they have to go under the teacher community section and join the community project teaching and attempt the given task over here. And I just want to remind all the teachers that the task is mandatory, and it is essential for it is an essential criteria for getting the certificate of accomplishment, will be which will be issued after completing the assessment form that will be shared by the day 2 of the session. So teachers need to have a score of 50% and above for receiving this certificate of accomplishment.
Right, Ipshita. So the task that you have just described and the steps that you have shared with us, so can we show a demo to our teachers for completing
Right.
this task?
Right, Smi. So for sharing the demo, we have to again navigate ourselves to the Gurushala library. So let's go to Gurushala courses portal again. So as I talked about the interdisciplinary course, the teachers need to go to the courses section and then go to the interdisciplinary course and need to attend the module, enroll themselves and need to attend the first module, that is linking the concept. Now, if I click on the relate section, I can play the video. So in this video, a challenge that a teacher will face in day-to-day teaching will be shared with the teachers.
Linking the concept. Meet Miss Sudha. She is a mathematics teacher at Modern Public School. She looks a bit tense. Let's see what is going on.
What should I do? How should I manage my class? Oh, good afternoon, Kaveri. Well, it is regarding the Diwali competition.
Miss Sudha is reciting her problem to Miss Kaveri as she is recalling the scene where she had a conversation with Principal Mr. Karan. Miss Sudha, I want your class to participate in this year's Rangoli competition, so you have to give them enough time to prepare.
Sir, but I have to complete the syllabus.
I understand. But Diwali competition is a big event for our school and a lot of people from outside will also be joining us. So, it has to be perfect. I know you will find some way.
I'm worried that how could I finish the syllabus if I provide time for the preparation of the competition? I understand your problem. I too have to complete the syllabus and my students are also taking part in the competition. I wish there would be a way where we can use this competition as a medium to teach. That's a good idea. If we can teach students using these competitions, it will help us to cover some of our syllabus. So, what should we do? I think we should first search on the internet and see if there's an idea. Yes, we can. But can we get something similar to our situation?
Right. So after the relate section, the navigation will take you through to the next page, and that will be the questionnaire page. So here, different questions will be coming in front of you. The teachers can attempt the questions and then click on the next button over here, and then you will be navigated to the next section, which is the explore section. In the explore section, we have the solution to the problem in the form of, again, a video, and then we can go on to the next section and then move on to the infographics and various interactive games also that we have in the course section. So the infographic somehow looks like this. So as I said, infographic is a way of visually representing a huge chunk of information. So like we can see this interactive infographic over here about the interdisciplinary approach, what kind of approaches can be followed, and how we can link the concept and develop the child's thinking process. So this is how we can connect, for example, maths and art over here, and then what are the skills that will be enhanced during the process. This can be shown with the help of the infographic. The next, if I click on the next part, then it will navigate me through the games platform over here. So game is a very interesting and interactive way where that has been developed in the course section of Gurushala, where teachers can strategize their teaching strategies in the form of interactive game. So after completion of the game, we can have a lesson plan can also be downloaded basis on the options that the teacher select from the game. Then again, we click on the next button over here, and then we'll be navigated to the assess section. In the assess section, various questions are there. For example, these are the questions that can be attempted. And after I click on the next button over here, I'll be completing the module.
Right, Ipshita.
And if I want to go back to
Yeah. So when we are talking about the game, so whenever we first listen about it, we connect it with the students. But this is an important component and an interesting part, that our teachers can also play a game, and they can customize and design their own strategies that can be used to deal with the problems they might be facing in the classes. And as and when you select certain options in the game, we will also have some rewards in form of coins, and as many coins we get, we will be able to download a plan, a strategic plan after the game. So let
Hi,
us have a look at the
welcome.
game.
I am Sudha. I teach
Right.
math to upper primary classes at Modern Public School. I need your help in designing a lesson plan for my fellow teachers to help them teach mathematics in an interesting way to my students. As every task has some rules and instructions to follow, let's have a look what we need to do here.
We will play a game to help you to plan the class. To plan this, you will need to go through the 5 stages. The final plan can be downloaded once you complete the game. In the first stage, you will select the strategy for teaching the class. In the second stage, you will identify the elements which are prerequisite for the class. In the third stage, you will arrange the classroom to apply the selected strategy. In the fourth stage, you can buy some teaching learning materials with the points earned. In the fifth stage, you will be able to identify the skills which can be enhanced in your students. You will require to complete a few tasks to clear each stage. With this, you will earn some points. The more points you earn on tasks, the more teaching learning materials you can buy. Best of luck.
Miss Sudha is developing a plan to teach geometry with interdisciplinary approach, but she is a bit confused on how to start the session. Can you help her? What are the elements that a teacher needs to keep in mind to teach through interdisciplinary approach? Select any two.
Right. So as we saw here that the teacher, is kept with various options, and she has to choose between the right options. And as she goes on with the options, she collects various points for choosing the option. And this is how we move forward in the game section. Now, after we complete the whole module, we'll be issued with a certificate of completing the independent module, and the certificate can be shown in the repository section of the courses. Now, if we talk about after completion of the first module course, then the teachers can go around and go to the community section in Gurushala library. If we talk about here, then teachers community is present over on the left hand side. If I click on the teacher community section over here, I'll be navigated to the teacher community, and this is how the teacher community interface looks like. For completion of the task, we have to join the project teaching community over here. When we join the community, we'll be redirected to a new page. For example, I have joined the community. So after joining the community, then I can post my task over there, or if I have certain links to the task, then I can put on that also in the community section. So
Right,
this will be the
Ipshita.
completion of day one task. Yasmin.
So let us have a look at how can this community page look like. So I'll just briefly take you. So this is the Gurushala portal, as we have already logged in. So when we go to teachers community section, we just have to click over here, and then we will be redirected to this page. Then here we can also add a community. So for example, if you want to make a community of your if Siddipet district, for example, so maybe you can add your community using the title, description, and all the information which is asked here. So also for the completion of the task, you have to go here, which is project teaching, and you have to join project teaching. As I've already joined, it shows joined. Then we have to click on the project teaching tab, and we will be redirected to another page. Yes, so the project teaching page looks like this. So here, for completion of this today's task, we have to create a post. So as we can see, other teachers also have created certain posts. So similarly, we have to create a post over here. So this is going to be today's task. Also, Ipshita mentioned about a certificate that we get in our repository. So if we go to my repository, so as if I have completed my first module, so I will be getting in my certificate section a certificate for the completion of one online module. So this is something that the certificate will look like, and we can download this particular certificate from here, and we can use it later for other references.
Right.
So yeah.
So we can complete the task, and by the end, we will also be sharing a Google assessment form at the end of day 2, and the teachers will be completing that task. They'll be awarded with a certificate of participation after they have scored 50% and above during the assessment.
Right, Ipshita. So as we mentioned in the beginning as well, we will be providing you a certificate of accomplishment, which will be given at the end of day 2, wherein if there'll be an assessment form that will be shared, and the teachers who will be receiving 50% and above will be awarded with this certificate of accomplishment. So I would also like to add here that a certificate of accomplishment is different from the online module certificate, as we just saw on Gurushala platform. So if we complete certain modules, then we get the particular certificate of that course in my repository section. So that is a certificate for online module that we are doing, and this is a certificate of accomplishment which will be given to the teachers who will be scoring 50% and above. Right. Ipshita, so would you like to add some concluding remarks over here as we are about to just wind up with the session?
Right, Sween. So as we through the session, we learned about various challenges that the teachers are facing during the lockdown, and we also got to know that what can be the environment that the teachers are that the students are having at their places, and how to create a environment checklist for that, and then how as a whole community we can come together and collaborate with each other and facilitate the learning process. We also talked about the various 6 core learning skills that can be there in Bloom's taxonomy, and then how we can nudge the children to be independent learner using the watch, think, and practice, and also use the surroundings to inculcate the thinking process in children by using the interdisciplinary learning approach.
Right, Ipshita. So here I would like to thank all our teachers for joining our session today. It was pleasure having you all over here. Also, I would like to add that the task that was introduced is mandatory, and all of us have to do the particular task. And we will be meeting tomorrow at the same time and at the same place. So you all are also requested to like, share, and subscribe our Facebook page and our YouTube channel, so that you can stay connected with us and you can get the regular updates. Also, here on the screen, you can have a look at a particular contact number which is given and email, that is info@gurushala.co. So for any kind of help or assistance, you can contact us on the given number and on the given email ID. So thank you all the teachers. We're hoping to see you tomorrow. Thank you for joining us.